Hey everyone, welcome back to my weekly update where I share with you the life and the life of a sales leader or fractional sales leader, should we say, and also a little bit about my working day, but as well as my daily exercise routine, which keeps my mind clear and fresh and on the ball for most of the time. Certainly just one theme this week that clearly resonated with me as a fractional sales leader, which I'm going to share a little bit more about soon, is sales process. But first up, what I want to share with you is just my exercise for the week, which has been, I guess, far less than I would have liked, but it's due to a couple of niggles with my knee and my shoulder. So the good news is that I continued my 25 sit-ups each day. I haven't let that go for more than 2 years now. I haven't been able to resume my push-ups yet because of my the attention to my shoulder and neck by my physio, and also my physio is looking at my knee as well. I did manage some cycling, it's about 25 Ks, and also managed still to walk about 25 K during the week as well. So still active, but just not as active, shall we say, and definitely want to get back into the push-ups. And someone actually suggested just doing some planks for minutes. I'm not so sure, but we'll see how we go with that. Anyway, back to my theme for this week with fractional sales leadership, and I was going to share one theme with you this week, and that's on sales process. So in my view, there's a lot of detail to this and a lot of discipline, and it's important that you get it right and that your entire team are following the same sales process. So that water cooler chat or that walk down the hallway about how you're getting on with such and such deal, and they can say, oh, we're at negotiation stage, or we're at proposal stage, or we're about to enter discovery, something like that. So let me go through a bit of this and take you through. So salespeople, rightly or wrongly, chase or follow the money. They know that by and large, signed proposals lead to commissions, but it's getting to that signed proposal from start to finish which requires that discipline and process. Over the years, I've experienced or seen some pretty complex sales processes, which I don't necessarily do the salesperson any favor, let alone the client any favors too, because they're not sure what's coming next, and the salesperson's kind of making it up as they go. So what do you want to remember as a salesperson is that we are the professional seller. It's not our first time we've sold this solution, our first time we've sold to a buyer, etc. But you've got to be mindful the client could be buying for the very first time. They've got no idea. They need to solve a problem. They've got a pain in their business. They need to get it addressed. They found you, rung your website, rung up from looking at your website or something. So they've come to you, but they don't know what's next. But really where they want to get to is to solve that problem, as I say. So the sales process that I most often use and encourage anyone, is one of qualification, discovery, demo, proposal, and negotiation. Then it's close one. Often when a new salesperson starts a role, their own qualification is low. They'll take anything, put it into the CRM and press their sales manager. Look at me, I've got this many deals going on. The sales manager's probably going, oh shit, this is just crazy. Probably not well qualified, rightly so. But let's just see how this new guy, Steve, gets on with his bloated pipeline and see how that moves through the sales stages. That's what some salespeople can do, and they completely get it wrong because they've just qualified. Oh, they haven't qualified anything. Actually, they just put it all into the qualification bucket. Fingers crossed, hope. This is exactly where a well-defined qualification process needs to be established, first and foremost. So while this is hard to say and stomach, using the well-defined qualification process, you are trying hard to disqualify opportunities from entering your sales process. Really, you don't want to deal with it. Don't want to deal with it. Don't want to do it. Why should I be dealing with this client or prospect? Why? And that's what you want to keep asking yourself. So that you can focus on the well-qualified ones as opposed to these distractive ones, which actually, if you qualified them out to start with, they wouldn't take up any time as you move through your sales process. So, okay, great. We now have a well-qualified opportunity in our sales funnel. Now we need to complete discovery. And when it's discovery, you think, well, I think investigation, detective work, research, curiosity, Google them in the news, Google the person in the news, Google the news, the name of the company in the news. What else do you need to know about them? Company's website, who's the directors, who owns this business, all those things. LinkedIn, that's a great CRM of mine in terms of that detective work. And it's really uncovering people, who they're connected to. Oh, you might have common connections, and there could be someone in there amongst your common connections that would actually play a valuable role in you successfully winning this business. So we need to find out absolutely everything we can about this prospect or client in our research things. Of course, then we want to be talking to the client and confirming some of the information, gathering up what their pains are, what their problems are that they're looking to solve. Why are they talking to us? Who are they also talking to? Who are the other people in the room in their side of their business? What roles do they play? What are their backgrounds? Are you just here to make up the 3 vendors that they need to get proposals from because that's what the business says? Always get 3 quotes. Are you just what I call column fodder, in addition to their column A is who they really want, column B and C is where you're sitting in one of those, and they're like, oh yeah, we need to have those 3 quotes anyway, who cares, we'll just work through that as we go, because they've already got their preferred vendor in mind. So in discovery, there is yet another opportunity to qualify out. Am I wasting my time here? Cull them if so, and move on to your next opportunity. There's no time to waste here. Then we jump into demos. So demos can go really wrong, really bad, really quickly. Be careful. Think of an opportunity to demonstrate as a sports game. You need to prepare well and practice or rehearse with your teammates. Rehearsals, practice, demos, etc. Do not ever just turn up and hope the demo hits the mark. Even demo after demo, tried and tested, requires preparation. Also, don't do discovery in the demo. You may learn more from their questions during the demo, but the demo is the demo. So don't come into the demo with more questions which you should have used and completed during discovery. If you've got more questions, ask them afterwards when you pick up the phone afterwards and say, hey, how did you feel the demo went? What were your thoughts on how that got presented? How well did it get received? So also absolutely send an agenda for the demo. It's not just demo of my product. Give us some details, but at a high level. Also ask them who's going to be attending and what their roles are and wishes they want to see from the demo. Keep the demo higher level at all times unless there is an expression of particular interest in a particular feature or benefit in the demo that they really want to see, some nitty-gritty part that will pass or failure, so to speak. And that's part of their buying process or decision criteria. Then proposals. Do not send a proposal early, even ballpark figures or anything. You want the customer on your buying process, in your sales process, for the duration of the sales process to win it. Sending the proposal first, sending out pricing. Oh yeah, this will probably be what it would cost in an email. Oh, they don't reply. They won't pick up the phone anymore. You've lost them. So after that discovery, after the demo, prepare your proposal. And by the way, proposals should never just be sent by email or post and left like that when you've completed it. Once a proposal leaves you, you have lost complete control on how the proposal is interpreted and who is reading that proposal. My tried and tested approach is to present the proposal face-to-face or at least on Teams, Zoom, whatever. Run through the proposal from page 1 to page 30, page 10, whatever length your proposal is, end to end. And make sure you've got time in your booking, in your meeting, to do exactly that. You want to gauge, when you're running through the proposal from page 1, you want to gauge from your client or prospect their interest and their comments as you go through, right? Executive summary, a bit more detail, the real detail. You might have missed proposing something or even over-proposed or even complicated things in the proposal. So you're reading reactions, getting feedback as you work through that proposal piece with them. online or face-to-face, right? Because what you then come out with is it might be a condensed one, or actually you might have missed the point altogether and they actually want this bigger proposal and all this other stuff. And here you were turning up with just a cog in the wheel. So it's very important to get that right. So it's like doing a draft evaluation plan with someone. You're sending them a proposal, getting their feedback over the phone, face to face, on Teams, whatever. But you're getting their feedback and then you send them the final proposal. That's fine. But when you send a final proposal, use something smart like PandaDocs or Lumen, DocuSign, one of those electronic PDF documents that gives you information back and can track the engagement. It can let you know when it's been opened, pages viewed, most common pages viewed, least common pages viewed. And then, of course, there are alerts with these proposals when they're sent through that tell you immediately when the proposal has been opened again, if it's been forwarded on to someone. You've given all these smarts that come through. So you actually know where your proposal is then traversed and the names of people that are actually now looking at it. So you can do some further work, especially if you were unaware of someone in that organization that's now got the proposal being forwarded to them. Like, what the heck? And worst scenario is if it actually leaves the organization and ends up with your competitor. Why the heck? You don't want to be dealing with someone you can't trust. Negotiations. So delivered that proposal. Yep, they're all nodding their heads. Yep, pretty happy about that. So negotiations is definitely not about price whatsoever. It's about everything but price, because you've demonstrated value earlier through discovery, through demo, through the proposal. Pricing shouldn't even come up. So if you've done your job during your discovery and demo, then value would have been recognized by the client, and the value prop would have got stronger and stronger during that sales process as you get through. At any time, should price come up and a phrase like, seems expensive, surface, then I often ask, compared to what? And then I start talking about the value proposition I provide in the solution, which should far outweigh any pricing objections, guaranteed. Then, do negotiate on commitment term, 5 years, 10 years, the go live date, a start date for the project, the signing date. I mean, I want the signing date today. Who cares? Then we can move through the other things. But that's where you would or could use a draft evaluation plan. So always work backwards with the client from the date they want the business using and benefiting the system. 1 July, I want the system I want to be benefiting from the system. So that might actually mean it'll go live of May. So then they've got time to bed it down, train people, get everyone on board. But that's so important. And then they're benefiting from using your product or solution, and you're measuring in real time how well it's been, the value of it. And you've negotiated to get to those stages by them signing today or tomorrow, whatever. So remember, whatever you do with a give, if you give them something, and that might be a quick turnaround on the proposal, you're expecting a quick signature back, for example. You always want to be getting if you're giving, okay? It's a two-way street. It's a partnership. It's not a vendor-client situation. You always want to be working with the mindset of a partnership. So finally, the win. By now, you've traversed negotiations and the client is at the pointy end of the sales process. So when will they sign? Who will sign? What's stopping them from signing today? Why is there a specific date set for signing? Your relationship with the client will be quite strong now, and you will know a lot more about each other. Okay? It's got quite, personal. There's obviously it's very commercial, but there's ways of working, and you figured each other out a little bit more. So do keep this commercial, but be mindful that they are human too, and they may have other priorities that crop up from time to time, and things get delayed. But just be patient, but be firm. So obviously your priority is their signature. So when you win, make sure you have a win review so you can learn why you were selected. Equally so, if you lost at the very end following negotiations, which I'd be very surprised to hear, then you need to have a loss review. No opting out of this. The prospect has the right to meet and debrief you on the loss. Either way, prepare your questions and send the questions to them ahead of time. so they can be prepared for your questions with their answers. You also want to be able to well document all your wins and all your losses in CRM. So this was just a sample of my week, the sales process. It's a never-ending circle, and there's always plenty going on in that. It helps build pipeline, helps win deals, minimize your losses through that qualification as well. So anyway, let me know if you'd like to discuss any of my my discussions and the themes today that I've shared with you. So just to wrap up, exercise stats for this week: biked about 25k, walked about 25k with those niggling injuries of that knee and that shoulder. Completed 781 days in a row of sit-ups. That's pretty good, 781 days. Push-ups, been on hold since last week, so I got to 66 days in a row. Now pause for another week at least. So yeah, hopefully next week I'll have some better news on that. So thanks very much and have a great day.